If you love gardening and permaculture, then Who Richards might be one of your favorite YouTubers. His story is quite interesting. In this video, I'll tell you how Who got into gardening at a young age, his influences, and how he started his gardening YouTube channel and became popular and successful. So, now let's start from the beginning. Who Richards Price was born on January 19, 1999. He hails from Huddersfield, England. He has a younger sister. His grandfather was a gardener and used to grow vegetables and some soft fruit. Whose father, Stephen, is also a gardener. Whose parents got inspired towards gardening after watching the Good Life TV series, a show popularizing self-sufficiency, and after reading the John Seymour Self-Sufficiency book, and in 1999, Who along with his parents moved to a small holding in Midwest Wales to pursue self-sufficiency. They wanted to create a space there that could provide nourishment, seasonal food, and livestock. Whose parents fell in love with gardening and turned their front lawn into a garden. This love for gardening contracted Who at a young age, and he started growing food at 3. He grew up gardening at that rural place, and at the time, he observed a raised bed and was impressed by the process of small seeds growing into edible plants within a few months. This process seemed magical to him and got him hooked to gardening. Once, during a June morning, Whose father told him that they would sow some beetroot seeds in for it. They needed to soak the seeds in lukewarm water. At the time, Who was in the primary school, and thanks to his curiosity, he inquired the reason for soaking the seeds and learned from his father that it would help the seeds germinate. He was so fascinated to sow the seeds along with his father that he couldn't wait to return home from school. He counted down the hours, and after returning home, he, along with his father, sowed the beetroot seeds on the beautiful, late spring evening. The curious Who started learning about gardening. His father exerted a great influence and inspiration on him. He not only got him into gardening and supported him, but also allowed him to later take over his garden. Who used to spend his after-school evenings in the garden, along with his father. Later, when he took over his father's kitchen garden, he built him another garden. Initially, Who learned gardening from his father, but later he started learning from a variety of sources like podcasts, books, YouTube, and from gardens around the world. After his father got him into gardening, he quickly got hooked to the no-dig gardening and later started following Charles Dowding. At 12, Who had a school friend Ben, who used to publish gaming videos on YouTube. He used to record with a phone in one hand and used to play with the other hand, and his videos used to get around 200 views, and this inspired him to enter YouTube. But Who didn't want to shoot gaming videos like him, as he didn't want to step on his toes, and as gardening was an integral part of his life, he decided to produce gardening videos. So, the 12-year-old Who started his YouTube channel, Whose Nursery, on July 26, 2011, as a hobby. He chose the name Whose Nursery because he wanted to start a plant nursery. He published his first video, How to Pot on a Sapling, on July 27, 2011. He published around 30 videos over the summer holidays and surpassed Ben in the view count, which made him jealous and delete his YouTube channel. Who continued publishing gardening videos even though he felt a little weird in his friend group shooting gardening videos, and at 16, his YouTube channel crossed 1 million views. Thanks to this, he realized the potential of his channel. At 18, when Who finished his A-levels, he decided to take a year off to fully focus on his YouTube channel and see where it goes. But many of his friends and teachers criticized his decision and opined that it would be better for him to study for a degree rather than focus on YouTube. But fortunately, his family had his back. As Who continued working on his channel, after completing his A-levels, it grew to a decent size, and in that year, a journalist came across his channel and shared it, and within a couple of weeks, he got featured on major publications like The Times, The Mail, and The Guardian, and this made him popular, and thanks to this, the DK Publishing Company picked him up and invited him to London, which eventually led him to publish his first book, Veg in One Bed, on October 29, 2019, which became the top-grossing gardening book in the UK that year. Subsequently, Who published other gardening books like Grow Food for Free, The Vegetable Grower's Handbook, and The Self-Sufficiency Garden. He co-authored this book with his colleague Sam, who is also a professional chef. Currently, Who has 848K subscribers on his channel and earns from ads, sponsorships, affiliate marketing, courses, merchandise, and online shop. He offers gardening courses through his Abundance Academy. Who turned his passion of gardening into a successful career, and this full-time gardener and YouTuber founded Who Richards Limited in August 2020. This passionate gardener's aim is to teach people how to grow their own food at home through his YouTube channel and make gardening as practical and as accessible to as many people as possible. Gardening not only helps you to escape from the busy world and reconnect with the seasons, but also teaches him patience. After filming in his garden for about 12 years, he moved to a new location, a 7-acre field, where he has been growing his kitchen garden, which he named as the Self-Sufficiency Garden. This has the footprint of 125 square meters. Who created this garden project in response to the cost of living crisis? He wanted to show that it's possible to produce a huge amount of food for a family from a small space with minimal time investment. He wanted to prove self-sufficiency in veg and succeeded at it. He elaborates about this in his book, The Self-Sufficiency Garden. Who also has other permaculture projects on his new site. He currently films his YouTube videos there, and his plan is to turn the site into an edible permaculture jungle. Who handed over his old garden to his father and propagated many plants, especially the perennials, in his old garden and moved them to his new garden. So, essentially, he is a part of his old garden in his new garden. Who is also interested in designing larger-scale, edible landscapes, and he also wants to do regenerative farm design, and is interested in self-sufficiency, seasonal produce, and food security. Now let's take a brief look at his education and early career. Who did his schooling from Llandovery College in Wales from 2013 to 2017 and did A-levels in geography, biology, and art, and was also a head of the Llandovery College Sustainability Project and president of the Carwyn James Society for Welsh Culture. At a young age, who wanted to grow up to become a policeman, later an ambulance driver, followed by fireman and road worker. Later, he decided to become a sustainable architect and design sustainable eco-houses and communities, and even though who loved the drawing, designing, and creating aspects, he became uninterested in architecture after knowing that it requires him to be proficient with math, so he dropped the idea of becoming an architect. Who did a 2-week permaculture design course from Permaculture Association in 2017 and worked as a gardening presenter at ITV Wales Coast and Country, and from 2018 to 2019, he worked as an ambassador at Dobby's Garden Centres Limited. There, he was also a content and project creator. Who lives in Aberystwyth, Wales. Now enjoy a few tidbits about him. This avid podcast listener loves playing tennis, badminton, squash, mountain biking, outdoor swimming, horror films, and playing the FIFA video game. Whose favorite cucumber variety is Pachysandra, and his favorite gardening YouTube channels are Edible Acres and Dirt Patch Heaven. He also knows Welsh and loves cooking kimchi, lamb casserole with lots of vegetables, and cooking seasonal soup straight from the garden. Who won the Making Business Happen Young Entrepreneur of the Year 2016 award at the University of South Wales for Local Food Initiative Business Idea. He was an avid rugby player at 18 and was also the vice-captain for his team in the top school rugby league in Wales. But after a couple of knocks on his head, he felt that it might affect his gardening and presenting career. So he quit rugby, but currently, he resumed playing this sport. So, how are you inspired by Who Richards' story? Please comment below. If you are into reading, I've also written his story on my website. Find the link in this video's description. For more success stories of your favorite YouTubers, please subscribe to my YouTube channel.